Hey guys, I am out here at Forest Park Cemetery. This is one of those stories that as I was doing research, it just got bigger and bigger, and I really can't wait to share it with you. So let's get started. So this is the headstone for Officer Charles Hauser. He was killed in line of duty in January of 1932, but we will get back to that in a bit. Between the years of 1918 and 1925, Charles lost his maternal grandparents, his father, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, and a cousin, all to the flu in 1918. And then a few years later, he lost his mother. And then a little after that, he lost another brother to a motorcycle accident, leaving just him and one other brother. All the information I could find shows that they're all buried here in this area. But as you can see, the only headstones that are here are those maternal grandparents. And then, although he passed away in 1932, Charles didn't have a headstone until 2016. So Charlie and 9 other officers responded to reports of a couple of criminals, Harry and Jennings Young, being found in a farmhouse just outside of Springfield. So Harry and Jennings were really mostly known for just being small town criminals up until 1929 when Harry got pulled over for drunk driving and shot and killed the officer that pulled him over. So the officers went into this area. Once again, the sheriff was pretty confident that these 2 small town criminals weren't going to be much of a threat. So the 10 officers went into this farmhouse with just handguns, just not any extra ammunition, just simple handguns. They were confident that Harry and Jennings were going to come out and just turn themselves in. Unfortunately, that's not how things went at all. So as the officers surrounded the property, Sheriff Hendricks called out to the brothers and told them several times to just come on out. Once again, he was confident they were just small town criminals, meant no harm, they wouldn't hurt anybody, and that they would just come on out. After calling and calling for a while, the brothers never did come out. So Sheriff Hendricks and another officer went up to the door and pounded on the door. Still no answer. So they made the decision to kick the door in. And when the door got kicked in, the gunfire started. Those 2 officers were the first to fall. Everyone responded. A short time later, 3 more officers fell, including Officer Hauser. The remaining officers, knowing that they were outmanned, outgunned, running out of ammunition, they decided it was time to head back and get a group to come back and try to capture the Young brothers. Before they left, they didn't realize that there was still another officer who was hunkered down and hidden. And when they left, the Young brothers did find him and killed him as well. So they came back to the property. Young brothers were gone in what is known as the deadliest police shootout in the 20th century, killing 6 officers. The Young brothers made their way to Texas, and while in Texas, they were found again. And this time, whenever things got tough, they yelled out to the officers, "Come on in, we're dead." And then they each committed suicide, and their bodies were found inside. So the bodies were brought back to Missouri per the request of their mother, who was actually a prisoner at the time as well and could not leave the state. I read that they were intended to be buried in Greene County, but obviously with the reputation they have there, that was refused, and they instead were buried here in Fairview Cemetery in Joplin. Just to confirm that they had the young brothers buried before they were lowered into the ground, they actually opened up the caskets and fingerprinted the brothers. When they were initially laid to rest, that it was an unmarked grave, and then later a sister came and placed this headstone. So that's, the story of Charlie Hauser and his relationship to Joplin, as well as the Young brothers. If this is a story that you found interesting, again, I ask that if you wouldn't mind and you feel so compelled, just to click that like button. I'd love to know if these are the types of stories you'd love to keep hearing, and then share comments. I love to hear feedback and just some ideas that you guys have for additional stories.